Hello guys, this is Matrix Ray, and I'm showing you some resolution comparisons between native 1440p versus native PS2. I will also be doing some frame rate testing and show you guys the best settings for Syphon Filter Logan Shadow. We are using a custom resolution of 2560 by 1440p, native, 16 times the anisotropic filtering, bitmapping is on automatic, CRC hack level is on automatic, and we are using skip draw range 2 and 2. With skip draw range on this preset, it will eliminate a lot of the flickering issues on the light sources in this game. Now, unfortunately, it's not going to fix all of the graphical glitches in this game. This game seems to have more graphical glitches than the first two Syphon Filter games. So that's very unfortunate, but you can try and mess around with this a bit more and see if you can fix up the rest of the existing glitches. But as of right now, 2 and 2 seems to get rid of the ones that I mostly care about. Accurate date fast and accurate blending basic. We are using texture filtering off display and FXAA shader on. I also want to note that OpenGL doesn't seem to be too much different compared to DirectX 3D11. It might be more accurate on this game compared to DirectX 3D11, but this is what I'm using right now. Texture filtering bilinear PS2 as well. And yeah, let's get in. Now, I want to note that if you're getting in combat in this game, unfortunately, there are some false frame rate drops in this game. So basically, my counter on the top left there will never drop frames per second, but actually in reality, you're dropping frames per second. It'll hard lock down to 30 frames per second in the actual game when the game targets 60 frames per second. So what you got to do to fix it is you bump up the internal frame rate in the EE cycle rate, and that should fix it in all combat and just looking around the environment in general. So I'm at 300%. And I also have MTBU on. If you have more than 3 cores, I have 8 cores. I would recommend turning this on if you're going to bump it up any higher than 100%. Unless if you have my CPU, you should have no problems. i9 900K, clocked to 5.0 gigahertz. Now let's check out this. Now this game targets 640 by 448. So this is native PS2. As you see that this game looks very, very blurry. As I mentioned, the game targets 60 frames per second, so it looks nice and smooth. And as you see, very, very blurry. You can see those pipes are hard to see, and the rocks are, kind of hard to see as well. But if I go to native 1440p, as you see, everything looks a lot clearer. You can see the pipe details a lot better. If I go hide behind the walls, there is an issue where you can see light sources through walls, but at least it fixes up the flickering issue that I mentioned earlier in skip draw range 2. Let's go back to software mode, which is native PS2. You can see the light sources are more accurate. So, if you're more of an accurate sort of person, you'd want to play on software mode, but if you want that nice high resolution, you would want to do hardware mode. So high resolutions in 1440p, I would recommend hardware mode with a few minor issues. Also, I want to mention that if you look at this crate right here on software mode and then look at this crate on hardware mode, there's a bit of a blending issue. It's kind of glowing for some reason. That's just another inaccuracy issue right there as well. I just want to also mention that the HUDs are looking nice and clean as well at native 1440p. If I go to native PS2, it looks a lot blurrier, so that's unfortunate. If I also go here, you can see that the button HUDs are extremely blocky. Same with the torch. You can almost count the pixels on that. It's very, very blurry. I also want to go to native PS2, so it looks a little bit more blurrier, but not too much more. Also want to mention, if you go in these sort of modes, it's pretty damn accurate as well, which is very nice. There's all 3 of them right there, so they're quite accurate. Let's go to native PS2. You can see that there's a little bit of a difference around here on my character on native PS2 to native 1440p. Same with this. If I go to native PS2, native 1440p. If I go to, not the torch, this one, native 1440p, native PS2, bit more accurate than this one, but other than that, they're pretty good. You can also see a strange line right there. Might be a broken sprite, like a very long broken sprite, unless if that's intentional. It looks actually intentional. So, yeah, no, that's intentional, never mind. But it's a lot more clearer at 1440p, but yeah, other than that, that's pretty much about it. The frame rate is pretty good. You may have a different experience than me when it comes to frame rate at 300% cycle rate, but just note the 300% cycle rate, it's recommended on this game. The first 2 games didn't need it, this game does. But other than that, yeah, thank you for watching.